Well, as soon as one season is over, another one just starts right up again. No time to decompress or process what we have just witnessed. It's boom, right back into it. Gino's sitting here with a new hat.
Yeah, I got a new hat.
We are only 2 episodes into this, and we already have a catfish, a private investigator, and a Gino. This man right here is already approaching David's level of desperation, which if you're pulling that off by episode 2, we're talking about record-breaking stuff here. This is revolutionary. To be breaking out the private investigator this soon into a relationship, it's something we've never witnessed before. It blows my mind how anyone could think that the beginning to a healthy and long-lasting relationship is paying someone to follow your fiancé around. And it's not like this guy's being catfished or anything, he just thinks she's lying. And you know what? She probably is. The whole thing is just bad all the way around.
Violet is from Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. She's beautiful. I think she's beautiful. She's like, she don't even look her age. I felt like there was a connection. Ever since then, we've just been chatting, and calling each other pretty much daily for 2 years. Violet is the sweetest jerk I've ever met in my life.
Alright, that's sort of a weird way to introduce your fiancé. Definitely sensing some bitterness going on underneath the surface there. And you'll notice pretty quickly that they have sort of a strange dynamic.
I'm like really, really, really super excited to come there. I'm real happy. Just...
Oh, you love me.
I'm not saying that word. I don't say I love you. I don't ever say I love you. Because whenever I say I love you to a person, they leave.
Uh-oh.
I'm not saying the word, but I'll say this.
What? Why does he look so proud to admit that he doesn't say I love you?
I don't say I love you.
So the way they speak to each other and him giving her the middle finger and everything could easily just be harmless flirting, or there could be something bubbling under the surface, and considering this is 90 Day Fiancé, I'm gonna go with the latter. So when they first introduce Riley, he talks about 2 serious relationships in his life that failed. I could be wrong, but I believe he said he was married and his marriage fell apart because he caught his wife cheating, and then in the future when another relationship was starting to get serious, his girlfriend took off with little to no explanation. At first, of course, you feel sympathy, but then also I'm wondering, is he leaving any details out?
So how do you express your love to her?
It just occurred to me how weird it is that we're still blurring somebody's finger. Do you know the shit that Jasmine and Gino talked about this episode? And then they blur this guy's middle finger? I wish they would just blur everything with those 2. I'm sick of it already. We're on episode 2 and I'm sick of them. All right, sorry, getting off topic.
It started because Violet told me women in Vietnam mean the opposite of what they're saying. So when she says she hates me, it actually means I like you or I care for you or whatever. So she knows how I feel when I do this.
Oh, okay. So does that mean if you hire a private investigator, what you're really saying is, no, I don't want to investigate you. We're cool. Did he sarcastically hire a private investigator? Would she be upset if he didn't do that? Is that what's going on here?
We've been through some ups and downs over the last year or so. I just feel that there's something there with Violet that she's just not telling me, or she's not being as forthcoming as I would need her to be. I'm gonna let you go. I know it's late there. Get some rest. Have a good night, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
I'm sorry, it's a little weird, right? It's kind of strange. Everyone has their own way of flirting, that's cool. They got their own little thing going on. I would think this was a lot less strange if it weren't for all the things that follow. But come on, how far does this go? What is he gonna do when he sees her at the airport? Give her a noogie? Anyway, of course his friends have to give their opinion on it.
So do you love her?
Yes. It's just, I don't like saying the word, but I'm bringing a ring.
A ring?
It's more like a promise ring, because once I get all the answers I need and we can get past what we need to get past, I think she might be the one.
Oh yeah, that sounds very reassuring. Once I pay somebody to track her down and find out if she's a liar or not, then I'll know for sure if she's my soulmate. I feel like if you already have layers upon layers of drama and you haven't even met in person yet, then that's probably not a good sign.
I asked her often if she was divorced, and she said yes.
So you don't know she's divorced?
She told me later, like 3 months in, that, oh, by the way, my divorce was just finalized. But it was 3 months in after I asked her multiple times.
All right, so why don't you just confront her about the lie, and if you're not satisfied with her answer or apology, then just end the relationship. I think it makes perfect sense to be concerned if that's true and she lied about when her divorce was finalized, but if you never address that, and now you're always just wondering what she may or may not be lying about, and now on top of that, you're recreating scenes from the movie There's Something About Mary, none of this is healthy or good or leading in a positive direction, and I'm all here for it. I'm ready to watch it all go down.
And there's one other thing, like, she was so adamant that I come off the dating app, and I did it. And when this whole thing blew up, I went just to check and see if she was still on it, and she was.
Riley has found himself in a classic conundrum. So I think what happened is they got into an argument about the whole divorce thing and didn't talk for a while. He decides to go on a dating app, the same one that they met on, I assume, and he finds her there as well. Now this proves that she might be cheating, but if you approach her about it, then you also look like you might be cheating, so what are you supposed to do here? So this all seems pretty bad, especially for a relatively new relationship, but it gets a lot weirder when it turns out that Violet has been messaging Riley's dad whenever they get into an argument.
I have about 150 different texts from different days.
So wait, okay, 150.
150, you can check it.
Oh, don't worry about that. We're just messing around, you know? That's our sense of humor. She's totally kidding, you know? I flip her off, she flips me off. We argue, we don't talk for like 5 days. Maybe she downloads a dating app and texts you 100 times in the middle of the night and says a bunch of manipulative, bizarre things.
He says, yeah,
Let me see. I knew your son doesn't love me, and the time we are together, he just loves himself, really. He never knows how is true love, so he forever will be alone. Really, this is what she says to you?
That's a good one. That is such her sense of humor. That is so her. Isn't she just the sweetest jerk you've ever met?
and I did not comment on it because I don't want to get in the middle of anything.
Man, I actually feel really bad for his father because I'm sure he doesn't want to deal with any of this crap, and he's getting dragged into it by these two goofballs. I think this is definitely up there when it comes to worst starts to a relationship on this show.
It seems to me that Violet is taking advantage of my father to try to get to me, to manipulate him. He's elderly, he's sick. Like, who does that?
You know who does that? My soulmate does that. That is what I look for in a woman right there. It's hard to imagine finding this out and still continuing with the relationship, but you know that he's going to. And on top of that, he thinks that the investigator thing is going to save his relationship. If you're hired by somebody like this, you probably don't even have to do anything like 90% of the time because the answer is going to be obvious.
This is ridiculous, man. I don't want to talk about this anymore. It's ridiculous. Those text messages just aggravated me.
At least this guy didn't try to make a million excuses and say something like, oh, she was hacked, you know? That wasn't her saying all of that. But it would be ridiculous at this point for him to go and meet her and bring her a promise ring. We're doing a promise ring again, really? What is he promising her? What could he possibly be promising her? I promise that I'll love you forever as long as the investigation clears you.
I always felt that Violet hasn't been really giving me the full story about the divorce and not deleting the dating app. So I'm looking to hire a private investigator in Vietnam in order for me to get the truth.
I feel like this show should have its very own investigation service at this point, and it wouldn't require much either. It could just be Big Ed with a magnifying glass. That's about the level of expertise you're gonna need to crack some of these cases.
My main concern is she really divorced? The other thing I would like to know is she still on the dating app?
At one point, this guy said he had an entire list of questions prepared for Violet when he meets her for the first time, so it seems he's planning an interrogation of his own, which is, of course, very romantic.
Because when we had a big falling out because of one of her lies, I went back on the app just to see, and she was on the dating app using a different name.
Yeah, I see.
Well, that's not sketchy at all, and now he's about to give him a copy of her passport. The trust all around is just wonderful.
I do have a copy of her passport.
Okay, we will find out where she lives.
Okay.
What she work.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we will follow her, check her activity, daily activity to find out her relationship.
We got our best guy on the case. His name is Detective Ed. If there's anything to find out, believe me, he will find it, but you're not going to like his methods.
Of course, we will send you with picture and video.
Would you actually get in a car and follow her?
Sure.
Really? Wow, okay.
He was way too excited about that. Why is he so excited about the fact that they can follow her around? This escalated so quickly. We just got introduced to them. This is the second episode, and we already are talking about having a spy follow somebody around. Isn't it a little bit early for spies and conspiracies? What are we doing?
I mean, I feel ding ding gong gong. I feel, but
yes.
I want to protect myself and make sure that
You want to protect yourself by having some guy follow her around and update you with pictures and videos every day? Honestly, this seems like it's going to be one of those couples where they're both just awful and there's nobody to root for. It'll definitely be very interesting to see how this all pans out. Anyway, that is it for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed it. Please have a wonderful week. If you don't, I will be pretty upset with you, to be honest.
Hi, baby love. Is that a new hat?
Yeah, I got a new hat. Do you like it?
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see, but I got new shorts too. Can you see?